Hello, Mark Red Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Vanessa Wallace. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Mark. Yes, it's a lovely day. Been busy today, and it's so great to be here on
Well,
this
thank you for
podcast with
joining
you.
us. And so you're mid-afternoon where you're at, and I'm in the morning here, 9 o'clock in the morning here. So where are
Yeah.
you located? And a little bit of background about yourself.
So I'm located in a place called Northampton in the UK, and I live here in my home with my two pugs
Okay.
and my husband. And it's a very small place we have. I've downgraded when my children left home, downsized when my,
Yeah,
not downgraded, downsized when my children left home
that's
quite a
cool.
while ago now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's beautiful countryside around here. It's a real like English village. So there's
I
like
would love it.
thatched houses and, lots of little pubs and canals as well nearby.
Okay, I'll be right over.
Yeah, do come
I would
round.
love that.
I'll get the kettle on.
I've never been to that part of the world.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
so okay, so that's where you grew up in that area?
No, I grew up in London, so everybody
Okay.
knows London, where London is. And I was born in London and grew up there. And we left when I was 9 years old, and I went to boarding school on the
Okay.
south coast, in a place called Bexhill, where there were
Okay.
lots of boarding schools. The town had lots of boarding schools and old people at the time. So, but yeah, I was there, and then I eventually, when I came home, I was at home in Kent for a little while, and then
Okay.
I left and went to Wales. Spent
Okay.
quite a few years in Wales, and had my three children in Wales growing up. But then eventually came back to London
Okay.
for my recovery, which we might get a chance to talk about. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you've been a lot of locations. I mean that. So where you're at now, is that one of your favorites, or what was one of your places you liked the best?
I love it here, and because I used to work in the prisons on a therapeutic treatment program, and
Okay.
I was in London working in the prisons there, and I'd met my husband,
Mhm.
and he wanted to get out to the countryside as well. So I literally got a job transfer
Okay.
out here. So I just got on a map and I found somewhere within something like 20, 30 miles
Perfect.
of where I was working, and just put a pin in and thought, right, well, that's where I want to find somewhere to live.
I
And
like it.
very luckily, we found this place. We rented it first and then we bought it. And we
Excellent.
haven't moved since. It's been about 15 years now.
Oh, it looks like I was talking before we started the podcast. That room you're in, and I don't know if that's your office, is beautiful there. I mean, that is
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have this office space to myself. So
like that.
yeah,
So
I yeah,
how
spend a
big a
lot of time here.
community is it that you live in?
Pardon?
How big is your community that you live in?
So the village is pretty small.
Is it?
I don't know the exact numbers, but it's pretty small. There's a very small primary school up the road and one pub, and yeah, you walk round the block with the dogs, and
I would like
you
that
know
place
you
very
know
much.
everybody you see.
So if my wife and I came over to visit, what would be some things you would show us there?
Well, I'd probably take you to Silverstone.
Okay.
Have you heard of Silverstone?
I don't
Where
think
they
so.
where they race the Grand Prix?
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I have heard of
we
that. Yes.
yeah we can hear it from our house
Wow.
when it's on. Yeah, it's very. If the wind's in the right direction, we can hear the Grand Prix.
Talk about front row seats. You don't even have to leave your
Yeah,
house.
pretty well. Yeah. And Oxford is not too far, so it'd
Okay.
probably take you to Oxford because it's a wonderful city. And yeah, a little trip down the canal on a canal boat.
Oh, so I mean, this time of year, what is your weather like?
It's been really beautiful this year, but it's been
It's
pretty hot.
okay.
I mean, with the global warming and everything, I think, that we're into possibly our fourth heat wave coming
Oh,
this next
really?
week. Yeah, so we're not used to it here. We're used to kind of summers, which are rainy and get a couple of days of sun,
Oh, wow.
20 degrees, but we don't go up to the 30s and mid 30s, but we have this year.
Wow.
And it's been pretty difficult for a lot of people because we're not set up for it here.
Yeah.
There's not air conditioning in a lot of places. You
Oh,
know, we're just not set up for it.
That would be terrible. I mean, and dangerous for people that aren't, would have health issues.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely.
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
No, no, that does sound like really. I mean, Nebraska, where I'm at in Central Park, we go way up there. We
yeah.
actually we had a day in with Fahrenheit. Our heat index was like 118. So
Wow.
it was a miserable day. But
Yeah,
we're very much used to heat and humidity here. And everybody's
yeah.
like central part of the United States is like you would think it would be dry, but we get humidity, that's for sure. So have you been to the
Mm.
United States?
I haven't.
Well, you have
No,
to come visit over here. We'll
I
visit.
must do. Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, we have,
Definitely on the
like,
bucket list,
people
Mark.
have,
Definitely.
they always say you have a lot of corn and cattle, which we do, but we have a lot of other things too,
Mm.
and, and for a while, our motto for state of Nebraska was nice. So we like to talk a little bit. So, just a little. So,
Yeah.
okay. So what do you do? I mean, what are you doing while you're there in your community?
So I am a psychotherapist,
Okay.
and I've been doing this for 20 years now. So
Okay.
I qualified in 2003, no, 2005 as a psychotherapist.
Okay.
And I immediately went into working in treatment centers for people with addictions. And then I went into working on treatment programs, 12-step treatment programs in prisons. And, I have private clients as well. And then I
Okay.
started in 2017, I started running retreats. So I
Yeah.
run these like 3-day, sometimes weekly retreats. I've been to India. I did a 10-day retreat in India.
Wow.
And they're based around themes like anxiety, depression recovery. I have one called Renew and Reconnect, which is very much around your values and kind of
Okay.
moving into a new phase of life, which a lot of us do, 2 or 3 times during our lives.
Right.
The India retreat was soothing childhood abandonment, so looking at those abandonment issues,
Wow.
and how we can heal from those. So,
Oh, wow.
there's been a lot going on the last few
I'm so
years.
glad you're doing that because there's such a need for that. So,
Yeah.
is that something that was a direction? I always ask, okay, I'll ask on the Dreamcatcher podcast. I always ask when you were growing up, is that something you thought you would be doing?
Um, so did I imagine I'd be doing it when I was
Yeah.
growing up? No, I wanted to be a vet.
You want to be a vet.
I
That's
wanted
that's
to be a vet.
cool.
Yeah.
So, did you ever
Yeah.
pursue that direction?
No. I realized it was a lot of hard work,
Mm, yeah, I could see that.
many years of training. And, I think at the time it was because I found it easier to relate to animals and people.
I hear you.
I was that kid who used to curl up with the dog in the dog bed, like, and, I had Labradors and I just loved them, to bits. And I was
Mhm.
quite shy as a child, and communicating with people wasn't my forte.
Yep.
So I didn't imagine that I'd ever work with people. I thought I'm going to work with animals because I love animals.
And
I still
animals,
love animals, but
me
I've
too.
gained the skills to be able to talk to humans now.
Well, animals are
Yeah,
just, it's non-judgmental love. They just,
yeah,
and it's so awesome. So,
yeah,
and I can relate because I was very shy growing up too, and I never thought I'd ever be talking to people around the world. It's definitely was not ever on my radar, that's for sure. So,
no, yeah.
but
Scary thought when you're like 7 years old, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like,
oh yeah. In
yeah,
fact, I won an award in school for being the quietest, and everybody's like, "What happened?" It's like I evidently found my voice. So, but
great.
so how did you get to what you're doing today?
So I was really on the back of my own journey, and where I am today, I'm looking at sort of a particular angle, which is healing generational trauma,
Yeah.
and specifically on mother lines. And my mother was great. She was a great mother.
Hmm.
She really was, but she had her troubles. And I've looked back a little bit and looked at some of the history, and also sort of how things have been molded for generations before us, and
Right.
how
Right.
difficult it is for the generation that brought us up, and
Yep.
how that was kind of handed down,
Yep.
and what responsibility or what we can do in this
Hmm.
generation to heal
Exactly.
some of that. So yeah, that's where I'm kind of that's what brought me to that at the moment, but it's
Okay.
been my own journey of recovery. I had many years of addiction, like,
Wow.
chronic addiction. And yeah, I came out of that after a rehab stint with a lot of things that I needed to work on and
Right.
deal with for myself
Yeah.
and understand how I operated and what I needed, the self-esteem, building my own self-esteem
Yeah.
and feeling I had some value in the world. Because,
I
I
hear you.
basically just felt that,
Yeah.
I was just nothing, to be honest. That's what I felt like.
Well, I'm glad you
Yeah.
did that journey. I'm glad that you did that because, I mean, you never know how healing yourself can heal, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how many people we've worked with. How long you been doing this?
So I qualified in 2005.
Okay.
I got
Quite a
clean in
while.
2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
So
you start
25
that?
years ago, I got clean.
What's that?
I got clean from drugs
Okay,
25 years
gotcha.
ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would imagine that was difficult getting
Well,
clean.
I went to yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, I went to rehab. Um, I, I had to do that program. It took a year really of lots of intense work,
Wow.
but I've never really stopped being in therapy myself and getting,
Let me see that.
I go to mutual support groups. I still do, and I give back a lot these days. And it's that's part of my journey. I was only in a prison actually yesterday doing a talk with another lady to
Okay.
the women that were in there. Um, so it's hard, but
Yeah.
it's the best thing that I've done.
Yes.
Honestly, I didn't even imagine that
Yeah.
I had a life beyond where I was back in the early 2000s. Just didn't imagine it was possible.
Yeah, that had to be a pretty dark place. But I can tell I'm glad you did it because you lit up when you said that. When you said where you are right now, what you're doing right now.
Yeah,
I could definitely see you're in the right place. I can definitely tell you on that. S-
yeah, yes.
So do you just kind of local area or do you just do this online?
Um, so I run actually a retreat just up the road in a
Okay.
hotel. I have a great relationship with them up there.
Excellent.
So yeah, I run one of my retreats in a hotel, but yeah, so the retreats are here, there, and everywhere really. And
Okay.
I have been down to the South Coast, which is about, I don't know, 70 miles from here.
Okay.
Um, and I went to India, obviously, which I said earlier. But I do a lot of my one-to-one work online. I have a couple of people from the local area who come here to my
Okay.
office, but generally it is online work.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all started in lockdown. Actually, I was doing it before lockdown. So it was
I
great.
was
I mean,
good.
when lockdown happened, I was already
You
doing
were
stuff on
ready
Zoom.
as much as you could
I know
be.
for a lot of people, it was a new world. It was like, wow, this Zoom thing just opened everything up.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, I knew of Zoom before that, but you definitely knew of Zoom when going through that. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing. So India, I actually have been maybe potentially going to do a podcast from over there. What part of India did you go to, and was it like what you thought it'd be like?
We went to North Goa.
Okay,
And I was terrified before going there. I was like,
okay,
what is it going to be like?
yeah,
I did go, I was recommended to go with a friend. She lives out there for 6 months of the year.
okay,
So, she invited me to come over and do the retreat with her.
uh-huh.
So I felt safe, but also I was like, I had no idea what it was going to be like. It's so
See that?
different. It's so different to the UK, but amazing and lovely and beautiful, beautiful beaches
Really?
and just such a lovely place to be. And yeah, I just enjoyed it so much. I went back the next
Excellent.
year. We're not going this year,
Okay,
but
that says
yeah,
a
I went
lot
for
there.
two
Then
years.
that's
Yeah,
so. Do you
yeah.
like to travel?
I
Just in
love to
general?
travel. Yeah, I want to travel more. Yeah.
So I mean, like in Europe, where are some places that you really like?
Um, Places that I really like in Europe. I mean, Italy is amazing.
Okay,
It's absolutely stunning. Yeah, and we were in Croatia
okay. How was
last year.
that?
Croatia is beautiful. The sea is amazing in
Really?
Croatia. Yeah, it's really, really clear.
Okay.
So, I love to swim in the sea. That's one of the things that I just really love doing. And
Yes, yes.
yeah, I mean, out there with my snorkel and my goggles and,
There you
just
go. You got to
swimming.
do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there is something, I love beaches. I've never been, I would love to do that. I've been on the beaches, in Florida and around the United States. And there is something calming. I mean, there's just being in the salt water and just,
Uh,
and everybody's like, why are you in the middle of the United States? Because we don't have many beaches here. So, but there
how
is,
far is it for you to the nearest beach?
oh my gosh, it'd be a lot of hours. I actually, if I get on a plane, I can be to San Diego in probably 6 hours. So it takes a while, and about that
Yeah,
long probably to go to Florida too. We are way way in the middle of it. We're almost dead center of the United States. So where we live here.
yeah,
And I mean, you might get a lake where you can have a little sort of beach, but it's just not the same as the ocean. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
anywhere we go, I mean, we have an airport that's relatively close, and I can be out of here, on a plane, but it still takes quite a while.
yeah. I mean, 6 hours is a long
Yeah,
flight. I mean,
yeah.
that's nearly as, I mean, took me, I think the flight to India was 9 hours from here.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, and a flight to, I don't know, I suppose I'm just trying to think where a 6 hour flight would take me to, somewhere in between here and India,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I could
yeah.
see that. No, my dream is to do these podcasts in person. I wish I were right there in your office there, and that I would love to do that because I mean, it's the best education there is to see the places that. And I love Nebraska. Not so much our weather. We get a lot of violent weather here, but we really appreciate nice weather, very
Yes,
very
yeah,
much. That's
yeah, yeah.
so okay. What is next? What is like a couple years down the line look like? What would you like to do with what? Would you like to expand what you're doing?
Um, I don't know. I'm in a bit of a kind of no man's land at the moment, Mark. I don't really know where I'm going. All I
Okay,
know is that I got my second book is about to be released,
excellent.
and so that's very much my focus at the moment, because I'm one of these people who's just, I've got all these ideas
Uh-huh.
going on,
That's awesome.
and I'm trying to stay focused, because when
Mhm.
I've got too many ideas going
I
on,
do hear that. Yes. Yeah. You
yeah,
get
the
you spread
focus
yourself
comes.
thin. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, I'm because I was like, I'm going to buy a canal boat. I'm going to expand this place and do Airbnb and,
Oh, there you
just all
go.
these ideas. Pardon?
That sounds good. That sounds very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, they're all good ideas. But at the moment, I need to focus on my book. So the book is being released in about, hopefully within the next month.
Oh,
We
soon. Okay, very soon.
Yes. Yeah, we've just done the blurb, but it's called The Mother Solution. It's my second book. My
Okay.
first book, I got to, I mean, this is like my claim to fame, really. I got to the bestsellers in the new releases
Okay.
in mental health and well-being.
Wow.
And Gabba Matey and Bear Grylls were just behind me. And
Okay.
then, no, they were just ahead of me. And then I overtook them one day for about like 3 hours. I overtook them and I was like number one. And I was like, yes, because they're
Wow.
really famous writers and famous authors,
Awesome.
famous people. But yeah, anyway, that was that. And yeah, so the Mother Solutions, I've been working on it for the last 18 months.
Okay.
And it's a combination of all sort of inner child work, lots of kind of looking at behaviors like people pleasing, perfectionism, all those behaviors that perhaps we have inherited down the line that we don't need so
Yeah.
much these days. We can share our truth, we can be who we want to be, we don't have
Amen.
to comply so much, and there's less constrictions on society today, hopefully.
Yes.
But yeah, so the book's coming out in the next month or so. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to do some launches. I'm going to do some online
Excellent.
launches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm just hoping to really push this book, because I want to get the message out to people that healing is possible,
Yes.
because a lot of people are really stuck,
Oh,
or
yes.
feel quite resentful about their upbringing. And I want to be able to release people from those constrictions and
Yes.
actually say, look, we have a new opportunity here to be who
Yes.
we want to be. But we do have to leave some of that past behind. But it's a process. You can't just leave it behind. You have to work through
You
it.
do.
And that's where my kind of psychotherapist head comes in. And it's like, so there's a few techniques and models and things that you can work through, reflections and journaling questions to actually, and also suggestions as to how to move forward, and how to look at the things that can come up for us in adult life. And I think especially when we get into sort of our 50s, you start to think, well, I want something a little bit different.
Yeah. Is this it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And, a lot of people that I work with are around my age. I'm in my late 50s. And, there's a lot of people who are like looking at, okay, so what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Because we have longer to live these days, don't we? We have another 30 years, hopefully, if not more.
Yes.
And we have a new awareness. And, I think most of the first part up to 50 is like working hard, building a foundation, paying off your mortgage, all those kind of things, bringing up your kids. And then they leave. And then you're kind of left with this space and these opportunities.
I'm so glad you're doing this. I mean, because this message needs to get out to the world. That's for sure. And so, was writing books, is that something you always kind of lean to, or you did just, how was writing a book, or books, I should say?
Well, yeah, it all started. The first book came from one of the retreats that I was running, which is called the Anxiety Depression Recovery Retreat. And I realized that because I was with my coach, because I've had coaching throughout. And she said, well, what do you do with your clients? And I said, well, I help them remove their inner critic, be themselves, and live the life that they dream of.
Amen.
And so she said, okay, so we've got an R, a B, and an L. And I said, oh, there's a word there. Let's just put a couple of E's in there. And we've got rebel. Yeah.
I love it.
Because I was an addict, I was quite a rebel in my teenage years.
Okay.
So it's like the rebel method.
Love it.
Then I did get a book coach, and we went through formatting it into each of the components. So the REBEL. I added in the first E is educate about your mind. So it's educating you as to how the brain works.
Right.
Because we have so many automatic responses that we actually think are things that we need, but actually a lot of them we can change. And through mindfulness techniques and everything, we can change how our brain operates. And the second E is eliminate anxiety and depression. I don't necessarily like the word eliminate, because I don't think we can get entirely rid of it. But it fitted with the E, and it also kind of leans towards what it does do, which is relieve anxiety and depression. When we start to be ourselves and really connect with who we are, we can live our lives as we dream it to be.
Yes.
And have life beyond our wildest dreams. Certainly that's what I have now, is a life beyond my wildest dreams. Because I actually thought that towards the end of my using, that I would be that old lady that would be sat at home with a bottle of vodka and a bottle of methadone, and that would be my life. I didn't believe that there was anything else possible for me other than that.
Oh, my word.
So to now be where I am today, running workshops, running retreats, working in rehabs, doing podcasts, that was just completely out of my frame.
That's so
totally
awesome. It's so inspirational, so motivational. It's just like, because everything is possible. A lot of times our brain doesn't think so. But I'm so glad you're doing that. And so how long did it take you to come up with all this?
So the first book took me a good 18 months to write. And I'm a bit of a slow writer, because I'm always doing so many other things. So it took me 18 months, and then we put it all together. We put it on Amazon and all of that. And then this second book, it just developed. I don't know. I just woke up in the middle of the night. I've been doing it was called Healing the Mother line initially. And, I've been doing some retreats around that. I built a workshop. I built, an online program. And I just woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I was like, I want to write a book. So I just wrote all the headings of the book. And I used the same technique of the word mother. So each chapter yeah,
Those acronyms, yeah.
refers, and I can't off the top of my head remember what each of
Uh-huh.
them it relates to, but yeah, so I did it in that format. There's a lot of personal stories in this one. I talk
Very
about,
good.
because I went to boarding school, I talk about arriving at boarding school at age
Yeah,
9 and how difficult that
I
was,
bet.
and how it shut me down, basically. And
Yeah.
yeah, then I started using drugs at school because that's the way I could fit in, and it
Sure.
just evolved from there. But I've also included a lot of sort of friends and also client stories, clients that have given their permission to have parts of their journey included in
Oh,
my
with it.
book.
Okay.
So it's a combination of tools and techniques, but also hearing people's experience and what they've done and how they've worked through it.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Even saying so
Oh,
myself,
I
it's
think very
powerful.
powerful. So the
Yeah.
rebel method, how long did that take to come up with that?
Well, that was literally from that coaching session with
Oh,
my
okay.
coach.
Okay.
And it was like one of those sort of bing moments, like ding,
Okay. I know
it's like,
those. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is it. We could do this. And then I was like, I think I saw her the next week. I said, I'm going to write a book around this. I'm going to put this as a book, because I had that rebel method
Uh-huh.
and it was very clear what the topics were.
Right, right.
And I'd always wanted to write a book. And I didn't,
Did okay. Okay.
a lot of people say, yeah, I want to write a book. I would say that anybody who wants to write a book, it's possible. If you want
Yep.
to write a book, if you're listening to this, you want to write a book, just do it,
Yeah,
because
exactly. Yes.
anybody can write a book.
Yeah.
Have you written a book, Mark?
I have not. And actually I've been suggesting that I should write a book.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think you
And
should.
so okay, I'm gonna start writing a book. What would be the first thing you would suggest that I do?
Well, what's your passion?
It's about kind of with the dream catcher and people, everything that I've been through that got me to the point today, with my wife's advanced colon cancer and everything we've gone through, and kind of how I got to be a podcaster. Basically, my life story and being
Yeah,
inspirational to show where, because insurance in the United States is a joke. It because put us way into really a lot of debt. Just dealing with illness and just day to day life and
yeah,
just
yeah,
showing people, because actually I'm 63. So and people are like, it's like, shouldn't you be getting ready to retire? And it's like, nope. In fact, I don't even think about my age.
yeah,
And
yeah,
just be an
yeah,
inspiration, kind of
yeah,
what show people. Actually, God, I don't know, God, the universe has told me that I need to show people their gift and the path towards helping them get to that gift.
yeah.
And whatever, and he also told me to be on the world stage. I'm not for sure this is a world stage, but it could be. He's never told me otherwise.
Mm,
But he's
yeah,
the one that also is pushing the book, because he woke me up. That's probably 2 years ago now. And anybody who listens to the podcast will know this story. Um, this humanities we have in the state of Nebraska kind of helps people with a lot of things. And they had a writing workshop. And he woke me up and he's like, "You're going to it. They have room." And it's like, and actually it was awesome. The gentleman who taught the class was excellent. He had us write. He said that you can get a lot written in just 15 minutes a day. And
yeah, absolutely.
and it was just like, okay, maybe. And actually, I thought maybe after, because I never had seen myself as even close to being a writer. And I guess you don't really. I mean, I never saw myself being a podcaster, but here I am, 400 some episodes in. It's just doing it,
Yeah,
and but
that's what it is.
but
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
just my life story and being so
yeah.
quiet. I mean, my classmates are like, "What happened?" And and it's just
But
life.
that's inspirational in itself, that you were the quiet kid at school.
Oh,
Just that
very, very quiet.
transition. I think people love to hear transitions. And because in that title of Dreamcatcher, it's like, people's dreams are sometimes of being something that they feel they can't be.
Yeah.
But actually, when you hear stories like yours and like mine as well, probably
Yep.
it's like, yeah, I can be. It opens up possibility, doesn't it?
It
That,
does. 100%.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I mean, I always tell everybody's got, I believe everybody's got dreams. I think most of the people don't believe, that they're ever going to come to fruition. But I always say, if God, universe gave you the dream, there's a reason why he gave you that,
yeah.
yeah, and everything's possible. Everything is definitely possible.
Absolutely. My father used to say that actually. He used to
Awesome.
say to me, you can do anything that you want to do.
Amen.
Yeah, because my
Much.
father was very successful. He came from a very poor family, poor background, and they were a family of newsagents. I mean, not poor, but they were, it was a struggle to make ends meet. And he became a top London consultant surgeon and cured cancer with loads and loads of people. He worked at a place called Harley Street in London, which is one of the most kind of central places for people to do private kind of work from, consultants. And he was very, very successful. And that was around the time that I was born. He got his consultancy, but he won a scholarship to study medicine in the UK. And it was one of the, it was a unique scholarship at the time.
Yeah.
So he completely went out of what his family had been doing and became really successful.
Excellent.
And he always had that motto: you can do anything that you want to do.
You can. I mean, I always said also it'll be a struggle, but I look at it as strength training to become the person that can keep that dream. So, and I don't look at trials and tribulations anything like I used to. I like, what can I learn from this? So, so do you have a podcast?
I don't. I am thinking of starting one next year.
You would be good. You'd be very good. So
yeah, I'd like to do one. It's been on my mind for a long time. It's just never the timing's been right,
And I can understand that too. So do you speak in front of people? I mean, like on stage?
Yeah, I have done. And that's one of the ways I want to really push forward, actually, with my new book. And I am actually on LinkedIn and advertise myself as a speaker. I have been on a lot of interviews with radio, podcasting.
Excellent.
I spoke on stage in my own book launch, which I absolutely loved. It was so good. Actually, I ended up off the stage and in amongst everybody that was at the tables, because we did some great exercises with everybody. We did a little game and some value sessions and stuff like that. And I really loved that. And it was like, I want to do this more. And my coach is trying to convince me to do a TED talk at the moment. So I'm like,
you'd be good at that too. I can definitely see you doing that. No.
Oh, thank you for the encouragement. Yeah, hopefully that will come to fruition.
I mean, so do you have another book in you, or would you like to write another book?
Well, funny you should say that, because I was interviewing somebody a couple of days ago, and they might be coming on board and helping me and working with me at the rehab where I work. And part of the deal of kind of bringing them board is that I train them. So I think, I'll put this training package together. And then I thought, well, this could be a book, actually. So it's, a training package for counsellors who work in 12-step treatment centres. And so, I've put that, I've done exactly the same. I've kind of downloaded all the different chapters and just wrote them all out on my notes. So that may be the next one. I'm like, I can't believe it. I haven't even got the book out yet. And I'm thinking about the next one. And I said to the lady who's been helping me with the proofreading and that, because she said, "Oh, you're going to do another book?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do another book." And then about 2-3 weeks later, I'm thinking about my next book. So true addict style. It's like, no, one is too many and 1,000 never enough. I'm like,
No, I love that. And so I can find your books on Amazon?
Yeah, so the Rebel Method is available on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's on Amazon.com as well as co.uk. So it's available to a US audience. The Mother Solution is not available just yet.
Okay.
But hopefully it will be available by the end of September, definitely. It's going to be out. So,
Very good. And
so it's Vanessa Wallace, the Rebel Method, and you just type that in and you'll find it there.
Excellent. I got to check that out when we get off of the podcast here. So at your retreats, you were talking about that a little bit. So how often do you have those, and what does that look like?
So when I first started out, I was doing 5 a year.
Oh, wow.
At the moment I'm doing 3 a year.
Okay.
So we get like 7-8 people most retreats. So it's intimate. It's
it'd
small.
Be great.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. It's very different to your like yoga retreat or well-being retreat. It is therapy. We do group therapy. We really go deep. We really help people to address their issues. So people come to me, especially on the anxiety, depression recovery retreat, which I'm now doing once a year, generally in January. So I'm doing it next January. People who are in crisis, not so much that they need hospitalization, but who maybe want to go to somewhere. I know in the UK here we have a thing called the Priory, which is a mental health hospital. And people go there who are struggling with anxiety and depression, but it's very expensive and people can't afford it.
Yeah.
So coming on a 3-day retreat and also getting the one-to-one support around the retreat with me. So what I do is I envelop it with 12 one-to-one sessions online.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, people can have 6 sessions beforehand.
Okay.
And then they have 6 sessions afterwards, and then we do the retreat in the middle. But the beauty of the group is you arrive and you identify with other people and you feel like you're not alone. Yeah. And also, safety is one of the biggest things that I promote with my groups.
Okay.
You have to feel safe to be able to talk about what's really going on for you.
True.
So the safety of the group, I assess everybody who comes into the group. We have quite a detailed assessment just to make sure that it is the right thing for you, and it's the right thing for the group as well.
Right. Yeah. So, exactly.
Yeah. And then I'll work with you, and obviously the 6 sessions before the retreat prepares you for the 3 days with other people, and then the 6 days after the retreat is so different because you learn so much on the 3 days.
Yeah,
have such a transformation. So really, the six sessions, the 6 sessions afterwards, is very much kind of just when things start to come up again. It's like, okay, so what did we do on the retreat? How can I revisit that? How can I build that into my life now? So those sessions afterwards, the aftercare is so important as well.
I could see
because there's no point where you go, yeah, I'm cured. Yeah. It's about maintaining techniques into your life and then them coming to part of your life and how you manage your life, which I have to do on a daily basis.
And I would think they'd be part of the journey because everybody wants to kind of fall back to what they, even a lot of things, you fall back to what and they have to build a new pathway in your brain. I don't know what exactly.
Absolutely. Yes. So, that's it. Yeah.
So, okay. So could you do this online? Can people like in the United States, could they be part of your retreat?
I'm not doing any retreats online, but I am doing group therapies online. So my retreats are all face to face now. I was doing the online ones during lockdown, but it's intense being online for like 3 days on the trots.
I think it'd be really intense. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we used to break it off with some yoga sessions and that, but I just found that people were much more inclined to want to come and actually stay. I have had a couple of people come from the US to my retreats.
Okay.
And stay over and make that part of their stay over.
Sure.
Okay. But all the online work I do, and I have a couple of online workshops and trainings which are on my website. And I run a group called Healing the Mother Line, which is an online group.
Okay.
And it's around the Mother Solution book, and we meet once every 2 weeks. And then there's the program, which is on my website. So, there's videos, there's worksheets. Okay. And then there's support with me once every 2 weeks for a couple of hours. We get together and we work through the course. So we do the inner child work. We looking at the mother bond. We look at resentments. We look at anger. Wow. So, I take everybody through a journey, and that's it's a 7 sessions it's over 3 months. So it's over about 14 weeks that program runs.
Wow. And we need to put all that in the show notes, everything there too. But I mean, that's, there's so much need for that. And I mean, you're talking about mental, and I don't know if it's that way over there, but in the United States, we have so many children. I think maybe because of their phones, but mental problems because I think it lack connection. And I've done many podcasts with preteen suicide, and which is such a shame. Is suicide's a shame no matter what, but it is. It's just there's a lot of people, like you say, they're suffering, struggling, and I think a lot of people don't. We don't get the connections like we used to. People used to
Yeah.
have, go out and have coffee or whatever. I don't know, or just get together. And it
Yeah.
seems like that's a rarity, at least here. I mean, a little
Yeah.
maybe more here because Nebraska, we just like to make sure we know what everybody else is doing. But which is actually can be good and minus or plus
Yeah.
minus. But
Yeah.
I see so many people that think that they're all alone and there's no way
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, we certainly have that here, and I think London is probably one of the most isolating places to live. Even though,
Really,
yeah, it's full of people, it can be very isolating for people in London. Because you have to get out there, and
you do.
it's hard
Yeah,
to do that.
it is.
Especially if you're a certain personality, you've got a lot going on, you've got a lot of traumas. You get triggered.
Yeah,
It's really difficult. I think isolation is a real issue today because community used to be so different, didn't it? Like 200
very
years
much.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now
Yeah.
people are in their houses. Sometimes you don't even speak to your neighbors, do you? It's
Mm.
like, I mean, I'm lucky I live in a village, but it did take us a while but when
Yeah.
we were in London, there were so many people around us, but we hardly knew
Yeah.
anybody. Because
And that,
people don't even smile at you in the street. Whereas here, you do
yeah.
get that smile,
And that's
but
kind of where I'm at here in Nebraska. It's kind of that way too. I mean, that's probably
mm,
why I like it. But when you do go to the city, everybody's in their little world and nobody has
yeah,
any interaction. And what is it? No person's an island, but we kind of
yeah,
act like we are.
yeah, yeah,
And like I tell my wife, it's like, what a terrible way to go through life, a sad way.
yeah,
All those connections that she could have possibly had.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just so glad you're doing this. I am so glad that you're doing this.
Thank
So Vanessa, before we end the podcast, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
um Well, I mean, I hope that somebody's got some hope from this,
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah, and if you are, I think if you're thinking of writing a book or getting some help in any
Mhm.
way, just reach out, take that first step because I think that's the hardest thing.
I
For
agree.
me, it was certainly the hardest thing was to take the first step with my recovery. Actually, I was forced into it, but because I had a bad car accident, so I ended up in
Oh, wow.
hospital. And yeah, that's another story. But that's how I got into recovery because I had
Okay.
a bad car accident, and people started to ask me what was wrong. What's going on in your life? So
Right.
people were asking me, and I was like, well, actually, this is going on. That, and I got the help that way. But there are resources out there, and it's about finding something and actually just taking that first step, which I think is the biggest thing. Is just asking for help is so
Amen.
hard,
It is.
but I would encourage because it can change your life, honestly.
It
And you won't
very
ever
much.
regret it. So that's the message that I want to give.
I love
Really
that.
is
And that is, I mean, that is a great way to end the podcast. And bless you for doing everything you're doing. And you had quite the journey to get to this point. My gosh, your
Mm.
backstory is that's amazing. But I look forward to keeping in touch. Maybe if I'm ever coming over to that area, I'm gonna come visit your town, and
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
I would look so much forward to that. That is I love. I'd be so happy. I did right about that. That's for
That'd be
sure.
great. It'd be great. Yeah, dude,
I
you'd
will
be
look
very
forward to that.
welcome.
So, but
Yeah.
I will let you go, Vanessa. I know you're towards the end of your afternoon, probably over there. So I'll let you go.
Absolutely.
And thanks again for being a guest. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, no problem at all. Thank you for inviting me, Mark.
You're very welcome. Thank you.